Welcome back to Midday. I'm George Bassey, Director of the Lauren Rogers Museum of Art in Laurel, and today we're taking a look at our exhibition, The Floating World. It's an exhibition of Japanese prints of the Wallace B. Rogers collection here at the museum. Really pleased to have Laura Mueller with us today. Laura is the Gallery Director for Joan B. Mervis Limited in New York City, and is also a really well-known scholar and published author on the Ukiyo-e period of Japanese prints. And today we're going to be taking a look in one of our gallery walks at this exquisite collection of museum prints. This particular group of artwork came to us as a gift from Wallace Brown Rogers, who was the father of Lauren Rogers. And shortly after the museum opened, we opened our doors May 1st of 1923. It's our 85th anniversary this year. And one of the first things collected by the family following that museum opening was this collection of Japanese woodblock prints. From 1924 to 1928, Lauren's dad, Mr. Rogers, put together a little over about 160 works for us. And Laura, you've had a chance to really take a look at some of these and tell us some of your first impressions and maybe some of your favorites, their strengths in this particular show.
Thank you, George. It's really a wonderful collection of prints, and I was not familiar with it until just recently. And the more I learn about it, the more I think it's just really a splendid collection, and shows the keen eye that Mr. Rogers and his dealer, Frederick Gukin, had in amassing this wonderful collection. One of the strong highlights that I see is with the works by Utagawa Hiroshige, who was a 19th century landscape artist. And one of his most celebrated series, 100 Views of Edo, as you see behind us here, that was done in 1857, just 1 year before the artist's death. And it really showcases the artist's strengths as a landscape artist. And it's because of this series that his name really carries on. There's a couple really great impressions of very famous designs. One in particular is the right behind us here, the evening shower at Atake at the Great Bridge. That piece received a lot of fame and popularity in the sense that it was a major work that Vincent van Gogh had. He had an impression of this work in his collection. He did an oil rendering of it, and it's a wonderful example of how Hiroshige was a master at capturing landscapes with really wonderful sense of weather patterns, and this wonderful decorative effect of the rain coming down hard on these travelers who are scurrying to get cover. So it's really a great impression from a great series by a great artist.
Well, true. Well, probably the largest area we have in this show is landscapes. We also have decorative arts, beautiful women, actors from the Kabuki Theater and others. And so we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have another look at some more of the prints in this collection. Be back with more of Midday right after this. Welcome back to Midday. Once again, we're joined by Laura Mueller today here at the Lauren Rogers Museum of Art. We're having one of our gallery walks to take a look at the exhibition, The Floating World, Ukiyo-e prints from the Wallace Brown Rogers collection. And Laura, we've talked about kind of the collection's formation and the landscapes in it. Let's talk about behind us is the process, and then maybe some of the other prints, especially some of our narrative scenes that pique your interest.
Well, a really wonderful thing about this exhibition is that we do have a wonderful sample of how the woodblocks are actually created. A lot of people don't know exactly everything that goes into creating woodblock prints. There can be as many as 12 to even 20 different blocks carved for each individual color print. So it's wonderful to have these blocks so people can really see that process and how it works. One thing I think is really interesting is these prints really capture sort of what was going on in popular culture in Edo, Japan, which is what I'm talking about is the time period is the 19th century. And there's two wonderful prints, one by Eri and one by Shiko, and they both are couples, two young lovers, and both of them, because for some reason they're unforbidden love, they end up committing double suicide. And it's one of these very tragic love stories that actually did happen, and it captured the public's imagination so much that they became the basis for very popular kabuki theater productions at the time. And so there's these two wonderful compositions in the collection here that show these two different couples, one weeping, and it shows sort of the sadness, the sort of sadness that comes with sometimes unrequited love or forbidden love, and they're really wonderful and touching images.
Yeah. So your first impression of the pieces when you saw them, and I know you have an opportunity to work with these in a lot of different ways. I know you've got an exhibition in Brooklyn now. So what are your first thoughts when you found out there was a collection in Mississippi like this?
It's interesting you say that, because I hadn't known about it beforehand. And the first thing was, well, how did Japanese prints find their way to Mississippi? And so I received a copy of the catalog and read the wonderful essay in that, which really shows the rich history of this collection. And it's really fascinating how these prints did end up here in Laurel, Mississippi.
Well, this collection has been with us since the 1920s, and really the first time ever that we've shown and showcase the entire collection at once. And Laura, we appreciate you being with us to help us celebrate that. It's the 85th anniversary of the museum this spring, and one of the things we wanted to do was have this exhibition up. And it's on view here in our lower level galleries until July 13th, so I hope people will get a chance to see it. So we'll be back with more to wrap up Midday right after this.